Hey guys, welcome to my channel where if you know, you can grow. So let's erase our doubt and let's pay attention because with Sean, it's always something to learn.
What's going on today, guys? All right, so today I just want to do a short update and talk to you a little bit about two plants particular today. I want to talk about my peace lily and I want to talk about my philodendron moonlight. Now, let's just kick things off with the peace lily. Is this a beginner's plant? No. However, is this in the beginner's price market? Yes. Now, let's dive into this. Go ahead and take this out. So, the peace lily. Well sought off the plant, and you can catch it in every single store. I mean, I believe they even sell them in gas stations. So what makes this plant not beginner friendly? Okay, well, let's get into the watering. I'm just gonna dive straight in, watering. This isn't a plant in which you could put on a routine watering schedule. Now, you should have no plants on a routine schedule, to be clear. However, with the pothos, with the philodendron, you usually have like a week range between a 1 week, 2 week, 3 week change. This is not that. This plant, I have put water in it and I have came back to it in about a week and it's been still continuously moist. Or I've put water in it and gone back to it next week and it's completely bone dry. So this plant does do what it wants to do. This is a plant that does need to be fed. It needs food in order to thrive. At least it does as a baby. I've only gotten one bloom from this plant since I've had it. I believe that's what you call the bloom when the trail's up with the white piece. I think that's a bloom. I don't have a lot of blooming plants. So now let's get to the lighting. This plant does not like grow lights. All right, so let's dive into lighting. It's a very difficult plant because it does not like direct light. No type of sunlight coming in, beaming on it, it's over for your plant. This plant does pretty good being kind of tucked away in a corner. But if you forget about it, it's gonna get mad. So lighting on here can be a little bit difficult. I've actually had mine in a bathroom that is no bright light that's ever coming in, but it's light in there, probably from like 9 a.m. till about 5 or 6 p.m., more like 4 p.m. now with good light because the weather has changed. Which makes this a difficult plant to have because you have to worry about the lighting requirement a little too much. Next, humidity. Now, these are tropical plants, as with most people, house plants, especially the ones you get from your big box store, things like that. So humidity is always going to be a factor, and most plants do pretty good with whatever humidity you give to them. And the ones in my book, in my opinion, just from me to you, if a plant doesn't do good in the climate that you have it in, get rid of it. Give it to a friend. See if your store will take it back, if you haven't killed it. Because you're never going to be able to change the climate in your whole house. I mean, what are you going to do? Make the house hotter? Make it colder? That's too much adjustments. You're building a system that's not going to succeed. So just get rid of that plant. Go find you another plant that kind of looks like it, that requires half the care for it, and go from there. You don't have to win and succeed at every single plant. Don't let the internet and don't let your family members or friends gas you up into believing that you need to go find this difficult plant because it's going to make you cooler. I spent hundreds of dollars on plants in here and nobody never notices when they walk in here. They go straight to the plants that they see, that they know, that they're familiar with. So just a little share secret. I want to say that's pretty much all I have for you with the peace lily on why this is not a good beginner's plant. Would I ever buy this plant again? No, not at all. I'm not a big fan of peace lilies just in general. This is a plant that I bought earlier this year. My wife lost her brother. And so for when we all got together, I bought all the siblings a peace lily just so we can kind of have something to hold on to that we can grow together. So it's very important for me for this plant, and this plant has to make it. Yes, it has to do good. Although the rest of the people plants have not made it. But I don't know if you could prop this plant or not, but as long as I get it going, get it thriving, it's just, again, it's personal with me with this plant. Next, this is not a beginner's plant, just so you know. Let's talk about the philodendron moonlight. Okay. Bring it in a little closer just so you can take a look at it. What's going on and what's happening with it, right? Philodendron moonlight. Everything seems to be going pretty well on this plant. We did run into a little bump in which the plant dehydrated. I mean, the leaves were coming in, the shoots was coming in, but nothing was shooting out. That's always a watering issue problem. So always pay attention to that. If you have a plant that comes out, but it never unfurls, always a watering issue, 9 out of 10. Unless you start seeing things on the other leaves, or you start actually seeing like mealy bugs, specks and things like that on the stems, then it could be some other issues going on. But trust you me, you have a bloom or you have a new leaf that's about to unfurl and just stay stuck in that leaf, it's definitely a watering issue. Could be humidity, but water. Notice right here, these right here, I have some new shoots coming out. I have one here, one here, one here, one here. So I have 4 new shoots coming out. And this is from the stem that I cut. So I'm definitely happy about the progress with that. And like I always tell y'all, don't be scared to cut your plants. Cut them, trim them. If you got to cut it all the way down to the actual root system or to the top of the plant or to the top of the pot, it's completely fine, guys, because your plant's going to grow back. Grow back double the size in half the time. So don't get nervous about cutting something if it's not looking right, because that energy then will get focused into rebuilding a new plant. I know you heard of it. You cut one stem, you get 2 shoots. That's true on the pothos. That's true on some of the trailing philodendrons. Same thing here. I cut 1 shoot and I have 2 coming out now. So for 2 shoots, I get 4. You know, I'm not encouraging you to get your scissors and go hacking all the way. I'm just saying that it's okay. When I bought this plant had good amount of size on it, probably about here. Since owning the plant, I would say maybe I got about 8 to 10 leaves out of it. And it could have been more if I didn't have that problem. And you got to think about, these are just 5 leaves right here. So the plant overall has been pretty good, but bringing a big plant home is a big adjustment, because a lot of times these plants have already been like in the nurseries or the greenhouses, wherever they come from, and they've acclimated, been growing there for months, if not a year. So it's hard. So I'm showing you an example of this because I'm noticing now when you go to your big box stores, they have big plants. And that's a video for another time. We'll talk about that. But buying a big plant and buying a small plant is not the same thing. Your small plant have a higher percentage of acclimating to the environment that you're giving to it for it to thrive. Your big plant will adjust, but it's been doing something for so long. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. You know, if you don't drink water, I'm not going to be able to encourage you at 50 years old to drink water. I mean, maybe your doctor will, but I mean, your whole life you've been encouraged to drink water. Somebody told you to drink water, right? So we're not going to talk about the water. Just saying that these plants right here, they've been growing for a very long time in a particular environment, and now they're about to be uprooted as adults to come live somewhere else. So take that part into consideration. It's not no set it and forget it. Your bigger plants actually require more work in the acclimation process than your smaller plants. This moonlight, put it in an airy mix. You've seen me do the repotting of this plant. If you didn't see it, go back, take a look at it, and you can exactly see the whole process that I did. Mainly, I'm just showing you the results. Like, it works. We talked about the moonlight. We talked about the peace lady. So when you're on with Sean, it's always something to learn.